Hi, my name is Harun Jaffrey. I'm the CEO of Expertise Accelerated. We provide accounting, finance, and supply chain best practice implementation at US CPG and manufacturing companies. We have a deep bench of offshore professional resources who are experts in these areas. Today, the topic of our podcast is trade promotions management. I have been involved with trade promotions management over the last 20, 25 years, working at different CPG companies. I have the pleasure of knowing Harry for last at least 10, 15 years. We worked together in trade promotions planning software implementation at my previous employer. Harry has done software implementations at many different companies. So I would like to welcome Harry. And Harry, just a brief introduction about yourself, and let's dive into the topic.
Sure. My name's Harry Ferrante. I've worked within the CPG industry for almost 40 years. The first 20 or so in the CPG world, and the last 15 implementing CPG software or TPF software for CPG companies.
Okay. So Harry, let's kick off from the importance of promotions planning. The conversation starts from having an accurate planner. So in your experience, what are the challenges and what is the importance of having a good planner to start with, developing it in partnership with the sales team?
Planning in a CPG company is absolutely critical. You would start with a top-down plan, basically give your objectives. Hey, I expect to have X amount of sales. I expect to have X amount of spend. Now we're going to build out plans. We're going to include the specific promotions. We're going to forecast. We're going to tally that up and compare it to the top-down plan. If the plan during execution goes away from the top-down expectations, the application is going to call it out easily. It's a very inexpensive way to manage your planning and make sure that you're hitting the targets. It also provides transparency. It provides standards. It holds everybody accountable.
Okay. And, as the plans are done and the organization is aligned and signs off, then obviously these plans are executed. And the deductions start to trickle in. These planners obviously are the backbone of the execution in the field. So how are these planners used in clearing deductions?
It's important that deductions get applied to a particular plan. That's the best way to validate a deduction, to make sure that it's, meeting the terms of execution. The plans and the deductions typically have support. You can make attachments. You can put notes on those, and that's part of your permanent record. But being able to apply to a plan will also true up the plan. So if I estimated 5,000 in spend, deduction came in for 6. It's easily visible to see that there's an overspend, and you can have proper procedures for validating that overspend.
And so obviously any deduction that comes in that does not have a plan would be challenged by the deduction team. Either it was offered by the sales team, which was not authorized as a part of the management approval process, or maybe the buyer went out and took a deduction for something that was never offered to the buyer. And this is where the invalid deductions come in. This is where the deductions team goes in and investigates and pushes back and collects, hopefully, the repays or the repayment from the retailers. So obviously, planners are the backbone of the process, and especially in deductions clearing. So the next question is the accruals. Accruals are basically the amount of liability that a company puts out there in terms of the promotions offered on the shelf. It is extremely important for any CFO or a controller to accrue this expense accurately. So Harry, how does a planner help in a monthly accrual of trade promotions expense for a company?
Many companies put in a TPF system specifically for this reason. They basically under-accrued, then they realize that they have losses and they need a system in order to organize their data. So your promotions will basically generate an accrual. Deductions get offset to the accrual. You can close a promotion if you want to relieve the accrual. But a good trade system is going to give you all the detail you need to back up your trade accrual and pass any audit. Basically, you will know what your exposure is. using a TPM system and hopefully minimize any risks that you have to unexpected losses.
So this brings us to the reporting aspect of a TPM system. So Harry, how does the reporting help the sales team by looking at the data of the previous year, by leveraging that information to plan for the following year?
Well, there's a lot to be learned from looking at prior year. It's going to have you anticipate the coming year. So it's another input as to how you're going to plan your coming year. If you had a promotion that was executing well or not well in the prior year, you're going to make that adjustment. So year-over-year activity is important. It's as important as looking at top-down versus bottom-up.
So this concludes our session on trade promotions planning today. Harry, thank you for sharing your years of experience with us. And in the future, we'll bring more topics to the table for discussion, challenges that the CPG companies and manufacturing companies face. Thank you very much for watching.